Hi, this is Bethany Marshall from Morgan James Publishing, and today I'm with our author, Valentina Savelyeva, who's the author of Get Clear on Your Career, Transformational Lessons to Help You Find Success and Purpose and Create a Life That You Love. Hi, Valentina.
Hi, Bethany. It's such a pleasure to see you.
Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, talking about your book and all of the lessons and messages within it. So I'd love to just kind of first off ask you, who is this book for?
Well, I appreciate the question, Bethany, because in many ways, this book has been kind of a product of a labor and inspiration. What happened is I work with a lot of women in their 30s and 40s. And what I realized as I've been kind of working with women in my practice is there's something very special that happens when we as women kind of reach certain thresholds. So in 20s, it's one thing to be dating and kind of exploring the career options. But as our life shifts, maybe as somebody gets married, maybe somebody wants to have children or take care of the elder parents, our needs for careers change as well. So I wrote this book, Get Clear on Your Career, especially for women kind of going through those milestones in their 30s and 40s to really support them to not just get another job. Because in many ways, that's not what a lot of times what they want. It's to find what the next piece of the career is going to feel like and look like that'll fit into the next stage of their life. Because I feel like that's really what we're looking for. And that's a lot of my clients are looking for. And I wanted to support my readers with that as well.
Amazing. Wow. So, I mean, that's such a huge transition that someone might be looking to make in their life. Do you have any tips that you could share with us today for those who are currently looking for clarity regarding their career path?
Absolutely. I mean, like this whole book is packed. I'm very practical. I love practical tips. So, I mean, which ones do I even cover? Probably one of the big ones is to slow down. I get so excited, but I feel like a lot of women come in and they just say, Valentina, I have all this experience. I had this and this. Like, do I just focus on my resume? Let's slow down because we want to reevaluate like what the needs are for career at this stage. A lot of times I have my clients, and I have this in the book as well, look at their values, what the next stage of their life that they want to look like. So what would be the lifestyle too, right? So that the next stage of their career that they create fits like a glove. So if they want to be a mom, or if she has some other needs specifically to a location, so that it fits nicely. Also, a lot of times, there's a desire for different level of expression that comes in too. So we want to honor those. And a lot of exercises that I have in the book for the readers, which is what I do with my clients as well, is to take a little time and do a precious discovery, connect to the inspirations. So I have my clients kind of do some exercises, all kinds, but it could be as simple as connect to what was inspiring when you were a kid, a teenager. And also connecting to our gifts. Believe it or not, Bethany, it's so interesting to me, like these incredible women come in and how many of them don't own their gifts. So there's value in owning our gifts first, so that whatever that next stage of the career will be comes from that place of truly owning the value that you bring to the table. So kind of notice we're looking at aspirations and honoring the gifts, and then kind of like the next stage of our lives. So it's really crafting kind of like the next stage of the career versus just saying, well, I've done this and this and this, and I should just get a promotion. It can be so much more intricate than that. So then the career really does fit like the next stage for the woman's life. So that's a big one. And then there's one more, there's so many, but there's one other one. There's a lot of wisdom and that women have, I mean, everyone, but especially women, it's our gut wisdom, our intuition. If someone has a spiritual practice, like that prayer, meditation, but whatever that is, there's value in that wisdom. So a lot of the work that I do is giving women space and tools to use that wisdom in a very practical way. So some of the exercises in this book that I talk about is kind of creating space for that. But I'll give an example, a simple practice for 30 days, just write down for 10 minutes, what do you want in that moment? And you'll be surprised. Sometimes there'll be noise, like I want a cup of tea, I want, like a massage. But a lot of times, as we begin to really listen, some patterns will begin to unfold. And that's what we're listening to, right? So that voice from within. So there's so much. Notice there's so much that we can listen to. And it doesn't have to take that long. But even within a few weeks of these types of exercises, the guidance that come forward is so much richer than we could ever come up with just by looking at the resume. So there's
Wow.
so much more.
For sure. I love so much of what you've said there, especially about how you've got practical guidance within the book, as well as, you're helping your readers find that fulfillment and that purpose and the path that really resonates for them long term. So incredible. So I'm sure you've seen a lot in your work. What would you say that some of the most common mistakes that people make that keep them stuck in careers that they don't love?
Yeah, great question. And I appreciate that you tapped into that we go deeper. It's not just a job title, it's what's my purpose? Like, how do I want to express what I want to bring? What kind of legacy I want to give at this stage of my life, right? Like, there's a bigger questions than can I just get a promotion? But of course, it comes with promotions, but it's just so much more than that. And there's a lot of mistakes that look like the right thing to do. So one of the common ones, and it's a slippery one, is to listen to the voice of fear from the most well-meaning people around us, right? So especially as women, most of us are trained to have good support networks, which is phenomenal. It's one of the superpowers that a lot of women have. So keep going with that one. But there's also limitation, right? So like, let's say I'm listening to, like, I have amazing parents, but we're immigrants from Russia. So if I keep listening to the same voices from my well-meaning parents or from my well-meaning best friend, and they're used to seeing me in a certain way, then I may limit myself by what's available for me next. Like, I'll give you an example. One of my clients I was just talking to, she used to be a lawyer, very successful, but she wants to do something more creative. Right. So, and if she listens to her, and she comes from a background, like her parents are from Taiwan, again, very well-meaning, very educated, but her heart wants something bigger. Right. So if she just continues to listen to her parents, who are incredible people, she can really tap into that bigger vision, that next stage. So some of the work that I do with clients, and I would invite all my readers to do, create a space where you begin to listen to something beyond, like, love all your people in your life, but begin to listen to this other voice. And maybe it's from reading this book. Hopefully that was definitely my intention, but also begin to seek mentors, coaches, support system of people who want to support you with getting outside of your comfort zone a little bit, right? And it could be just the right article or just the right talk. But we want to begin to kind of expand beyond those kind of voices of limitations. And again, it can come in in such a subtle way. This one thing I do want to share, probably the biggest fear that I hear women share is when they come in and they say, Valentina, I need to make sure that I get a job, that I, make 20 grand, 30 grand more, or that I support my family. And we want to honor that. But here's the thing. A lot of times we think that, well, I just need to learn how to negotiate. Like, one of my clients, she's been trying to get a promotion. So she came in, she thought, she was convinced. She was already solid, 20 years of experience in tech, solid with her skills. But she thought she just needed like strong negotiation skills. And there were some skills that she needed, but more than, like, when we actually slowed down, there was so much more. Like, she needed to tap into her own self-confidence, like her own self-value. There were some limiting beliefs that she had since she was a kid, that she wasn't allowed to speak up as a woman. Like, she needed to be, like, kind of polite, but really polite, not speaking up. So for her, that's how it showed up. So some of the work that we did is uncover some of those limiting beliefs that were in her head. And trust me, every single one of us has our own version. But once she reframed those, like, negotiation became a lot easier, because it wasn't even negotiation. She was just speaking her truth. And the truth is, she brought a lot of value to the table. So then getting $20,000, $30,000 raise a year is a lot easier, but it happens more naturally. Does it make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So much goes into the nuances of each individual's situation, and this book seems to do a really good job of breaking out some principles that are tried and true based on your real life experience with your coaching and guiding people through this transitional period in their lives. So, thank you so much for
definitely.
writing this book and for going effort of getting it published and sharing your heart and your message with your readers. So, if someone
Yeah.
wants to learn a bit more about you or about the book, how can they find you online?
Yeah, well, I appreciate that question because one of the things that I kept getting as questions after I wrote the book and I put as much as I could in terms of the exercises, but there's a whole section in here regarding that piece about financial, like financial abundance, financial security. How can I work with money so that I can get my next stage of the career, but not being limited by the old fears? And there's a lot in here as it is, but there's a lot of material that people need to tap into. So I created a mini course. This is based on my most popular module from my bigger course with my clients. So I created a mini course. That way the readers can go ahead and kind of do a little extra digging as they're reading the book and as they're hopefully kind of tapping into their own potential and purpose. So if you want to check it out, it's free. Again, it's a gift for you for buying the book, for doing the exercises. If you go to clearwaycoach.com, you can download a free financial course. It's going to take you through the exercises that will support you with see where their blocks are so that in your current job, you can easily step into that higher level of pay. But more importantly, at that next stage of your career, you can kind of really step into that purpose, but also coming with financial abundance in a much more graceful way. So clearwaycoach.com. And you can also check out kind of ways to connect with me if you choose to do so. But truly, Bethany, one thing I just want to share, I truly believe that as women, we have so much to offer to the world. And I feel like every single woman that steps into her purpose, steps into her heart, and really gives her gifts fully from an open heart, it truly is a gift to us as a society. So that's why I wrote this book. That's why I'm so passionate about empowerment of women. So if you or you have a woman in your life who can benefit from kind of playing bigger, so I highly recommend. This is why I wrote the book, and this is my gift from my practice to each woman that I know. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share. It's been such a gift.
Thank you so much, Valentina. And again, thank you for writing this book and for the heart behind it. I know a lot of people are going to get a lot of value and hopefully throughout their experience with reading the book and that amazing course that you've got. And I know you've got many courses. Hopefully that's going to really help provide a lot of practical guidance and really that confidence that women need to take that next big step in their lives. So thanks for spending some time with me today, talking about your book, talking about your message, and congratulations on your book launch.
Thank you so much, Bethany. It's always a pleasure.